welcome to our RV. We just want to do a quick video to show you the overall basics that we have going on here. I like to start on the outside. This is storage. This is where you would put water in. So anytime you're going to be staying off grid and not plugged into a water source, you want to be able to store some water. This is where you would put it in. It just hooks up with a normal water hose. It does make the RV really heavy and decreases your miles per gallon, so we typically leave it empty, and then once you get close to your destination you can toss some water in there. This is storage, and this is storage. This is a big one where we have a water hose in case you wanted to put water in there. Coming around to this side, this is where your tubing is to empty your black and gray tank. It's also where your battery power is. If you were gonna go shore power, you could unplug that and plug it in at your campsite. Anytime you're not at a campsite, just make sure that's plugged into itself. And then here is where your black and gray tank would hook up. So once you went to go empty there, or if you went to go hook up at a campsite, you would do that. We have a video showing you exactly how to do that. This is our gas tank. So you're just gonna put regular unleaded fuel in there. Again, regular unleaded fuel, not diesel. Not diesel. This is where your propane compartment is. So anytime you're going to use the propane, you just turn that all the way to the left and that opens it up. Anytime you're not using the propane, we just like to keep that off all the way to the right.
We also have another video on that.
And then this is the generator. You won't, it's just for maintenance, so you won't need to use that compartment. Okay. Now for the inside stuff. Right whenever you come in, on the bottom here, you're gonna see a little red switch. It's a little wonky, but when it's facing in the red, that's when it's on. So this is the on position, that's the off. So anytime you wanna use the lights inside or you want your refrigerator on, that battery right there is gonna power those things. And then if you wanted to use your generator for some larger things, you also want that battery on. So again, that battery powered by solar, and it's gonna run all of your interior lights. There's some light switches there. Here, there's some around the corner, and then it's also gonna power your refrigerator. Another important power tidbit of information is right up here, there is an outlet. This is the only outlet that runs off of the chassis battery. So if you have something plugged in here and the car's off, it's still gonna be pulling from that battery. So we learned the hard way that will kill your battery and leave you stranded somewhere. So we do have a little, do you see it up there?
Yeah.
Okay. And that stays charged for you guys in case you do make the mistake that we made. But hopefully with this wording you will not. And what else? Let's just take a look real quick at this battery panel, or this panel. When the battery's on, it gives you all kinds of information. So it tells you right now that your gray tank is empty, your black tank is empty, your freshwater tank is actually 1/3 to 2/3 full right now. Your battery is about 1/3 full, and the propane is 2/3 full. So just make sure when you return the RV that the gray tank and the black tank are both empty.
We have another video on that too.
Yeah, we have more videos on that. Same thing, how to use the hot water heater. We have another video on that. The other thing that I like to mention is for privacy, all of the windows have these curtains on them that you can use, but we have a curtain that stays up here in this cabinet that velcros up here to give you full privacy from that front windshield whenever you guys get set up in the evening or you want to block out some heat. This dinette changes into a bed, and the sheets to that are above this bed down there. This is an extra comforter, and then a few extra blankets here. Air conditioning and heating panel is right there. Air conditioning and heat both need to run off of the generator, and that generator is right here. So you'll just hold that up. You'll hear a cranking sound. Sometimes it takes a couple of cranks, but you can get that started. And then with the generator on, it can recharge your solar battery. So in the evening, if you find that your battery is low, you could turn the generator on to recharge that, or to use some bigger power sources like the microwave, the air conditioning, or the heater, or even your outlets. You need to have that generator on. The generator uses about 1 gallon per hour of gas. That gas pulls from just the regular gas that we showed you outside. There's not any separate tanks. So you have about 55 gallons of gas. So imagine leaving the generator on for 2 days straight and you would still have extra gas. But because it pulls out of that same tank, just make sure you're putting yourself in a good position when you're using the generator to then get back to a gas station.
We also have remotes on the side of the TV.
Okay,
Want to mention that?
TV's up here, and then Velcroed on the side of them are the remotes to use them.
The TV does pull out.
Yeah, the TV pulls out. I think they both have Fire Sticks, so if you wanted to hook up to Wi-Fi, you could log into your Netflix or Hulu, whatever. We have towels for you in the closet. We like to keep a couple extra toothbrushes in case you forgot those. We have shampoo and conditioner.
This is for t-shirts. You know, nothing super heavy. It will rip the rack out of the ceiling. Come on, people. Towel, shampoo.
And a little extra toilet paper below the sink.
Sink, yeah. Toilet paper. I think
the other thing I like to mention, size-wise, this takes up the whole lane when you're driving. So, you know, when you're driving a car, you have a little bit of leeway on either side. In this, you really are taking up the whole lane. So you have to be very attentive to stay between the lines. There are cameras that help you when you're turning. So when you put your blinker on, it'll show your blind spot. And then when you have it in reverse, it can show you behind you. But just be extra careful when you're moving around. It is pretty tall, can't go through a drive-through. But just be aware of the size. So there are 3 uses for the propane. Remember we showed you how to turn that on outside. One use would be if you wanted to heat up some water, whether that's to wash dishes or to shower. So you would flick that on here. We have a separate video showing you how to do that. So that would be one use. Another use is for the stove. So you would want to turn the propane on if you wanted to use the stove. You just turn this blue light on, and then you would, whatever pilot light you want to use, you can just turn that to increase the propane flow there. Sometimes the spark doesn't work, so we do have a lighter down there that will help you light if needed. And then the third use for propane is going to be for the furnace. That's going to be controlled on this back panel. But that just will heat the RV up really, really quickly. So you could probably have the furnace on for 5 to 10 minutes and warm this whole place up really quickly. So those are the 3 options for using propane.
You're trying to heat up the water, and you went outside and turned the propane on, and then you came over here, you turned on electric, and then you turned on gas, and then you see a little red, I'm not turning them on right now because the propane's off, but a little red light pop onto this fault. It just means that the gas water heater didn't light. So it tries 3 times to light, and if it doesn't light, it'll give you that fault sign. You can leave the electric on, and you can turn the gas off, wait a couple seconds, and then just retry. And then, you know, if that fault sign doesn't come back on again, you'll know that it's lit.